Hello, Swivelheads. It's Greg Allison with Swivelhead News coming to you tonight with a lot of news. Guys, a lot's going on. Uh, we've got this whole thing now with the revelation that it looks like Russia wants nukes in space. We've got the revelation that the Iranians have basically come out and said, we got everything to put together the device. Well, all we got to do is disassemble it to have a bomb. And we've got a lot of stuff going on in Europe. We got a lot of stuff going on here. We're going to cover nuke war news first. Then we're going to talk about border news and the impeachment of Mayorkas. But also there's ramifications along with it. So there's a lot of news cooking right now. It is really just cooking. So let's go straight to some articles here. And first and foremost, I'm going to say, guys, if you haven't seen my article here, Breaking Space Nuke Threat, I'm not going to go in the same kind of detail I went on this article. I will kind of reinforce it with other things, because here I was letting you have it. I was letting you know what was cooking here, what was important, and why it's important. But we're going to go a little bit more into detail. We're going to cover that, but some other aspects of it, maybe from the news articles more directly. I'm going to update the chat room here, or update this screen, so I'm pull the chat room up so who's in the house, because we're going a little earlier than normal. But for the people coming in the morning, we're going to do a fair bit of news here. And any conversation will be tried to hold off to the end. So do go to my Green Greg's channel and watch this. Breaking Russian nukes and space grid down satellite threat. Okay, let's get into it, guys. Here we are. GOP warned. Now, this is on that. I'm going to go to the other. GOP warned of national security threat. It's about Russia wanting nuclear weapons in space. We're talking potential for an EMP attack or taking out satellites. And I discussed how that differs on each way, and I may come back to this in a minute. I just wanted you guys to see this here first, because it's probably the biggest news right now. But another big piece of big news, I know it's hard to say which is the newest. It's Iran, talking about having the components to assemble a nuclear weapon. Iran's former atomic energy chief is essentially hitting that Iran has all the pieces of the nuclear weapon just ready, but disassembled. So that's further along than even Netanyahu. Now, they were saying a week ago they're weak weapon had a bomb. Well, I guess however long it takes to assemble it is how far they are from that. And maybe they're already assembling it. Maybe it's already been assembled. Why else would suddenly Iran be acting so brave in the world? Why else would they be doing the things they're doing? But it's more than that. They just did a dry run, a practice run of attacking an Israeli air base. Yes. And you're going to see more of that in a minute. Attacking an Israeli air base. So what they're saying is, Israel, we got you. You're not going to be able to do nothing, basically, is what they're saying. Of course, we know Israel probably has at least a couple of hundred nukes. So, but Israel also has a problem getting their fighters at long distance if they don't get refuel and resource available to them. They can't run through Saudi Arabia now like they had hoped to, because this whole thing with Hamas and Israel attacking Gaza Strip has turned the citizens of Saudi Arabia against the Israelis. And so the government knows that if they let the Israelis in, that they would probably be toppled. And Sleepy Joe don't know where to go in terms of who he supports and who he don't. So Israel may be a little bit out the water on that. I don't know, folks, but we are living in testy times, to say the least, because Netanyahu is wanting to hit Iran right now so bad, and Iran said, "Hey, we're ready to hit you." So we're coming up to the precipice. That's what that boils down to. Nothing less. Then let's hope it don't go over the precipice and go full kinetic. But it's mighty close. It's never been closer between Israel and Iran, and maybe even us and Iran, because we've actually practiced joint attacks on Iran with Israel for the attacking the nuclear facilities and so forth. We practiced that just a few months ago. Would we? Are we going to go through with it or not? I don't know. I'm kind of hoping not, but I'm going to show you something in the end here, guys. That I really go along with Senator from Kentucky, Reed, Paul, Rand Paul. I don't want to say Reed. Rand Paul. I go along with Rand Paul, and I go along with a lot with Andrew Netanyahu, the lawyer who's on CNN a lot, who talks about Recently, he's got an article. I'll show you this too. Where he's saying, "Hey, we need to just withdraw all our troops from overseas. We need to shut down those bases, bring our boys and girls home." I'm kind of in that category, but anyway, we're going to go through this stuff, guys. We are things are crazy. So yeah, Iran. So here we're talking about Iranian braggadocio, however you say that, about their nuclear program is reaching new and unprecedented levels, said Behnam bin Talibu, a senior former Foundation for Defense Democracies. Now, this guy's one of the Israelis. So they're, the Israelis are really noticing how Iran is suddenly starting to brag the things they're doing. Well, the thing is, they've got more going for them than just the potential to have nukes. They got Hamas at their beck and control. They got Hezbollah at their beck and control, and the Houthis. So Israel's never faced anything quite like this. And the Iranians have a very large, strong military. So this is not to be taken trivial. But this means that, we could be on the verge of a war in many different theaters right now. We're going to go all into that. But guys, if this ain't got you thinking of prepping, I don't know what will. But right now, if you missed a year special for a whole year with that $700 off, if you couldn't afford that, maybe you could afford this. It'll certainly help you out a little bit. $60 off a 4-week supply of long-term food, 2,000 calories a day, breakfast and lunch and dinner, and it'll make you a winner. But guys, I've always said the most important thing is water purification. If you can't purify and sanitize water post-grid down, you're going to be in a heap of trouble. And so this is a pretty good deal here. You got to go to Prep with Greg. The link will be below to find these deals here, and it'll help me and help you too. But also consider, look at this. This thing's $279.95. You go to Amazon, you're finding them up here for about $450. So I think if I had to choose between the two, this one over here looks pretty interesting. Trying to, that'll save you some money and help you and help me too. If you're going through my Prep with Greg link below, or I'm sure the link is showing up in some of the chat here in a little bit with some of the mods. All right, guys. But now I had somebody suggest after I did the video on green grapes, Greg, you expect this fade's going to do me some good after the grid goes down, after nukes, with the nukes? Yes, simply because we're talking about an EMP event with these nukes, maybe attack on satellites, not nukes on the city. But by the way, I've done a zillion videos explaining why an EMP is much worse than a full-blown nuclear strike with missiles hitting the Earth from Russia. And I've covered that repeatedly over and over and over and over and over again. So if you don't get that, you need to go back and watch my videos. Maybe that'll help educate you. But if you're not interested in educating yourself, God help you. Because if you won't help yourself, you need God's help. That's all I got to say on that subject. All righty, folks. Yeah, there's other ways to get food. Yeah, sure. But that stuff does last, and it's easy to store and transport. But, do the water first. I always tell you to go to the big box stores. I always tell you to buy an extra can of rice or beans if you can't afford anything else. I had a bunch of canned food. It went bad, though, because I had to move it out of the house and put it in storage, and I lost a lot. Anyway, yeah, it's a problem with cans. Cans can last a long time, but they can also, if you don't keep in the right temperature range, you can lose them. All righty, folks. As I was explaining before with this threat of the EMPs and satellites that may have nukes on them, we don't know what these 6 mysterious objects were that China's space plane released back in December. We have no clue what they were. And furthermore, I've talked about the North Korean satellites for some long time, like this KMS, Kwangmasong. Let's see, how do you say? Kwangmayongsong 3 Unit 2. I was had a mouthful, and I don't speak Korean, so I'm sure I butchered it. But that's why I don't usually rattle off the name of these things. This is the one that passed over Washington, D.C. on 16 April 2013, which was the day the Metcalf station in Washington, D.C. in San Jose was attacked. So, guys, highly interesting that these things were occurring at the same time. They had a boat out in the Gulf of Mexico or Caribbean Sea with 2 fully erect missiles and missile launchers sitting inside of, when they found it, they were inside of ISO ship containers, buried down a lot of sugar. But they may have been sitting on the deck on the 16th of April, 2013. Get my teens twanged, twisted. All right, guys. So a lot's going on here, guys. What is it? They launched another one, the KMS-4, and then they've launched that spy satellite back in last year, November, and then they're talking about launching 3 more this year. That'll put them up to potentially 6 satellites in orbit. A lot of opportunity that they could put a nuke or something up there. Now, my friends, I got to tell you guys that James Oberg, who is a rare coincidence of being both an aerospace engineer and a renowned journalist, was invited by the North Koreans. Let me stop this share for a second. He was invited by the North Koreans now he told me this. This is what he told me. He was invited to North Korea to witness this satellite that they were supposed to be putting up, that KMS-3 Unit 2. So, so that they would know it was a scientific satellite. Well, they showed him a satellite, and he agreed, and when he looked at it was scientific. He said, okay, now let me watch you install this satellite on that launcher. No dice. They did not let him see that, nor did they let him see the satellite installed on the launch vehicle either. So his conclusion was bunk. He said that bird this out did not go on that rocket. And he did not believe that for 1 minute, because they tried to use him as a PR piece. Now, if they had taken somebody from the Washington Compost or some of these fact-checking organizations, they would agree 100%. Oh yeah, that's it. We saw it. We know it. That's true. And he didn't buy it for a second. Because he knew better. He knew they were trying to pull one over him. And he further revealed a whole lot of other things they did with the launch complexes, putting tunnels into the launcher and hiding a lot of stuff, and camo and a lot of stuff, so that they could hide what they were transferring to the launch vehicle, so nobody would know what was going up. That's why you got to consider these satellites a risk. We've got it from the highest authorities who've actually been there at the launch complex. He's the only American that got to go to the launch complex like that. They thought he would verify for them, but he was too smart. He knew better. So hats off to James Oberg. Maybe do a little research. If you don't know aerospace, anybody that knows aerospace has probably heard of James Oberg. He's a prolific writer and an actual engineer. So he's not just some journalist that's, well, I think this is a rocket. Which side got the flame coming out? Oh, yeah, must be that side. No, he knows the stuff. Anyway, so James Oberg's a real sharp individual. Maybe I can get him on for an interview one day. Galactic Greg's or somewhere. All right, guys. So we're going to go back into the share screen. I just wanted to explain this to you guys. I've got a lot of sources for this stuff. I don't just make this stuff up, guys. I don't just pull it out of, I knew Dr. Peter Vincent Pry personally. Had him come here to Alabama 3 times. Talked to him. I could call him up on the phone when he's live and talk to him. I've had several long conversations with Peter Pry, including interviews on this channel, by the way. So, and I'm in his task force in the MP and National Homeland Security. Was the Alabama State Director. I'm becoming the Arizona State Director for that task force. So, guys, this is nothing to trivialize. Let me pull this up and make sure I got the screen share going. There we are. Good. So when I bring this stuff to you, look, I am a rocket scientist. Okay. So if I taught rocket science, take it to the bank. If you don't believe that, hang on. What I use for my laptop table here, a rocket motor. How many other YouTubers got a rocket motor next to their desk that they use for a laptop table? Not too many, especially within the prepping community. There may be somebody. But I haven't seen it yet. How many of them got a Space Pioneer Award sitting behind them? Yeah, okay, guys. So I think I know a little bit about SPACE and rockets. So let's move on here. Yeah, that's the solid fuel part. Batwitch, that's the solid fuel part of a hybrid rocket motor. And that one was fired for about, I think we fired it for 2-second test burn to characterize a fuel grain for our Hart Catch Prize rocket, Hart Altitude Research Corporation. It was the follow-on to our Halo, hang a rocket from a balloon and off we go program. All right, guys, let's go with it here. So maybe I should come back over here. Let's see. let's go back over here to this ABC article, and then we're going to go back to Iran. So, and I'm also chaired 2 power grid defense conferences. I have been a member of the 2 foremost nationwide power grid defense committees in the United States. That's, grassroots engineers and technical people, not industry or government. Okay, guys. So we're trying to make a difference. The Secure the Grid Group and the EMP Task Force on National Homeland Security, founded by Dr. Peter Vincent Pry. And one of my papers I wrote on the balloon threat actually got briefed to the Homeland Security committees in the House and Senate. So my papers have been briefed. I have also ran the halls of Congress myself. So guys, I'll bring it to you for real here. Who else brings you that level of knowledge here? They've actually been there, done that. But all these other channels where they don't know what side of the earth is day or night on get a lot more views than I do. Oh, well, whatever. So, so this is what I was talking about here. This came up to the House. And as I said earlier, Republican Representative Mike Turner was the one who announced this, much to the chagrin the White House, because he did not release the classified parts of it, but he said more than they wanted him to say, and just saying, hey, there's this threat. There's a lot of details that they're not presenting to us yet. So does Russia already have this stuff? Is that they want to have it? What's the case with it? Either case, we know that Russia has EMP super weapons, which can put out 200,000 volts per meter on lines on Earth. And that's not in this article, but I've told you that, guys, because it was announced by Dr. William Graham, one of the nation's foremost EMP experts, an expert in Russian weaponry, who just happened to also have been the acting director of NASA for a short period of time. And he's very much involved in the power grid defense community. So he got that straight from the Russian generals after the wall fell. And he also said that the Koreans got the technology. All right, I don't want to beat the horse I beat on the other channel. So let's move on and go to Iran. We're going to talk about some stuff I haven't talked about on here. Ding, 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 ding. Shakes. What's all this stuff opening up here? Yeah. Oh, how do we go? Oh, we went straight to North Korea. Okay, because I was on North Korea there for a minute. Yeah. This is talking about the various satellite launches they're doing from North Korea. And, oh, yeah, the one reason I brought this up, it ties into what I showed you a minute ago. All the satellite launches they've already got 3 up. They're talking about putting another 3 up. And it's this question right here. After all, why does North Korea need reconnaissance satellites? Because arguably, if they have a war, it should be with South Korea. Everything's there. They can see everything from a plane or a balloon. You don't need a satellite for that. And they got Google Earth. They know where our cities are and our bases. Why do they need reconnaissance satellites in the first place? Oh, yeah, that first satellite they sent it up, and they never even sent a signal to it. Maybe it's just sitting there waiting on a signal to go to it. That's what a lot of people are worried about with that satellite. The first 2 they sent up. The second one, they just took pictures. Maybe they got more sophisticated so they could put a camera on there with whatever else they might want to set off if they have something to set off. But why does North Korea need reconnaissance satellites? You know what? They go through a lot of effort to launch so-called reconnaissance satellites, and they're going to launch a bunch more. But they're really and truly militarily, that's kind of hard to justify. So what are they really all about, guys? You need to pay attention to that. Is this a way to get us, bring us to our knees, taking down our grid? Well, if they're going to attack South Korea, they don't want us dealing back at them. It may be a way to stop us. I don't know, guys. So, but they may have been on that kinetic hit on the Metcalf station. They put launchers in the Gulf of Mexico, the Caribbean Sea. And, oh, yeah, and just in case you forget, there was that vision from Stacy Zavicki of 2 missiles being launched from offshore of Venezuela toward the middle of the United States and the East Coast with big explosions, EMPs. She didn't know what that was. She saw my video and then contacted me. Greg, what is this? What is this stuff? What is it all about? And she told me, I said, well, tell me, why are you asking? And she told me her vision. I said, okay, now let me explain it to you. And then we did some videos together, guys. That's that a lady, she's a real smart lady. I think the world of her, real smart, real determined lady, hardworking lady, who was, a farmer who milked cows for a living, had this dream. But maybe that just gives more credibility to it, a lot more, and that this wasn't her area of expertise, her background. But she had that vision, and she just happened to coincidentally come across me, and I explained it to her. So we were able to decode what that was all about. That is frightening in some respects. If you think that there might be something to prophecy, you better pay attention. Also, guys, I'm going to show you where Iran is launching missiles from ships now. Oh yeah, I've already showed you about China. So anyway, Iran tests ballistic missiles in preparation for Israeli strike. Now they're just testing ballistic missiles in general. You might remember that when they shot the missile at Baghdad to take out that spy next to the U.S. Embassy, supposedly the spy, they hit this rich man's house in Erbil, next to our in Kurdistan, next to our embassy up there, or it wasn't really an embassy. It was what do you call that? It's oh shoot, I forget the name for it right now. Consulate. Yeah, they hit the consulate. Not next to the consulate. They hit the consulate in the previous attack. This time they went for a building right next to it. And what this really says is Iran has a precision strike capability at distance, because when they hit Syria, which is definitely the same range as all the targets in Israel, they exactly hit the target they were aiming at, bullseye, dead on, with very high precision. Do not discount the Iranians. I've had an Iranian professor who became chairman of the department, engineering department, at least the electrical engineering department of the college I went to, UAH. Brilliant man. My main study pal in college was Iranian. He later became a PhD level guy. Brilliant man. I thought I liked them both. They were good men, but they were brilliant. So do not discount their capabilities. Everybody on this planet, I don't care where you're from, is born with 100 billion brain cells and is capable of doing the same thing. Americans like to look down on other people, but we're nobody to be looking down on anybody, because there's a lot of capacity and capability out there all around the world. It comes in every color, shape, and form. Do not, as W said, misunderestimate your enemy. That's too negative, which makes it positive. Yeah, he did that on purpose. He hammed that language up. He knew better. Anyway, guys, and not only did they just test fire missiles, they did it from a container ship at sea. Oh, look at that ISO shipping container. I've been telling you guys about this stuff, ISO shipping containers. Wow, how many ships are just loaded down with ISO shipping containers? So what could be hiding in them? Guys, I don't make this stuff up. I've been warning you guys about this sort of thing right here. Like what was on board the Chong Chong gang since this channel started, practically. Since somebody discovered I'd run 2 power grid defense conferences when we talk about that, and I kind of delved into this. A bunch of preppers joined this channel. So this ceased to be just a gardening channel, worm farming channel. I still will cover content on that, but people wanted to hear what was really going on. Well, I say this channel, not on my Green Greg's channel. I'm moving more of that I'm moving more the news-related content over here, because I'm putting that channel at peril. I like to do more homesteading topics over there, and I'll do EMP topics, because that's hopefully still safe with the platform. It's totally apolitical, and it's not necessarily talking about the loss of people, although it would in the end cause a lot greater loss. But some people miss that point. So yeah, Captain Trips, I've worked with the Iranians, and they're very highly intelligent. Amen. Very smart, hardworking, smart people. Do not discount them. You discount them at your own peril. You look down your nose at them, yeah, you are looking the wrong way. Holy smoke, they're smart. Anyway, now Russia is afraid this guy might accidentally do a launch. Russia warns accidental nuclear war possible with President Taterhead's mental health in doubt. Now, what do y'all think about that? But they've also Biden come out and said in a news conference, I believe today, or now it's Thursday already, on Wednesday, he said that they'd actually rather see Biden as president than Trump, because they thought he was more predictable, probably meaning he'd do nothing. So they're all afraid Trump might react. I don't know, guys. But, Biden is definitely anti-Russian. It seems to be. from everything we can see. So for whatever that's worth or not worth, I don't know. It could have just been Putin talking to kind of throw things off too. Who knows? Like I said, I've always said there's uh, so much stuff put out there. It's propaganda from both sides. It's not funny. Both sides lay it out heavy, heavy, heavy. Don't believe anything you see immediately for face value. Anything. Anyway, guys. Now Iran, Iran's kind of bragging now about supplying Hezbollah with these new LEHMAN'S missiles. These are pretty. That's a pretty big missile there, buddy. These aren't little bottle rockets that they're sending out. Of course, what they're giving the Houthis initiated the first space war in history when the Israelis shot down Houthi missiles over the Kármán line, which is the edge of space, 100 kilometers up, about 60 miles, internationally recognized. Although the United States actually gives astronaut wings over 50 miles. It was the United States tradition to consider 50 miles and up the outer space realm, but internationally it's recognized at the Kármán line, which is 60 miles or 100 kilometers. I guess it's because it's a big even number in the metric system, 100 kilometers. Well, anyway, that battle took place there, but it wasn't orbital. So all that stuff fortunately fell back to Earth and didn't create a bigger debris problem in orbit, which would have been catastrophic. So, and anyway, we only got 96 in the room. I started early. I thought we could get more than that. Yeah. So one of the problems doing videos over here, I don't get as many views as I would if I put them on Green Greg's, but I'm trying to save that channel. So this is actually hitting me a fair bit, I might say. But anyway, Israel launches waves of airstrikes on Lebanon after deadly Hezbollah rocket attack. So, it's happening. It's escalating, guys. As you know, I've talked about in my last video how both Egypt and Saudi Arabia warned Israel not to hit certain areas in Gaza, and they went ahead and did it. And Egypt even talked about tearing up the peace treaty with Israel over that. So things are, to say things are testy is an understatement. If you think things couldn't escalate, they've been escalating all along. People are, man, nothing's going to happen. Nothing ever happens. Nothing's going to happen. Holy smoke, just look what's happened already, starting back in 2019. Some people, nothing's ever going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. Okay, if you're that blissful, have at it. But, God help you, like I said earlier. For those that don't realize that you can prepare. And what I tell you people, I tell you, don't be scared. Be prepared. That's the object here. And I really try to use prevention as much as possible. Like I've had David Pine on my channel a few times talking about things that could be done to avert our entanglement in all these wars. I need to get him back on here because we're getting so darn close that it's not funny. So let's go on here. 10 inventions you didn't know were Iranian. Oh, yeah, the Iranians are smart. Do not discount them. Holy smoke, they're incredibly smart. I know it. I know them. And I've got some admiration for their smarts, guys. Anyway, let me tell you something. When I was in college, I could count on 3 people getting a top grade out of every deadgum engineering class I was in, math class, until I got a divorce. And my grades kind of plummeted, but a little bit. But it would either be me, my study buddy, Iranian friend, and there was a Chinese guy. The 3 of us would always, he might have been North Korean. No, I'm South Korean. No, I think he's Chinese. The 3 of us always topped every darn class we took. We made the top score, every class, every single one. Until later on, some guy from Phil Campbell talks like this and come out from a cattle farm, he beat us all. That guy was brilliant. We not discount somebody from their accent. Holy guacamole, smoke-a-moly. Or because they come from a cattle farm. Well, I grew up on a cattle farm too. We raised cattle when I grew up. I had my own cows even. Anywho, guys. So, yeehaw. Do not judge a book by its cover. So many people want to judge people the way they talk. Don't do it. Don't go there. So, okay. So not only are they shooting missiles at us, the Houthis are taking to hacking us. All right, this is Bahrainian hackers, not Houthis. But, Houthis are shooting missiles at us, and we got hackers from Bahrain. guys, there's a lot of smart people over there. Do not discount it. Do not discount it for 1 second. And that means that but the fact that our naval fleet can be hacked from people, just anywhere, is a bit concerning, a bit scary. But I've explained to you guys how it was said that they hacked into all our defense systems. The Chinese did, that Volt Typhoon group. And you saw how Christopher Wray says, well, we shut them down. Then you saw after that more reports of their attacks and their software being everywhere. So, Christopher Wray, I'm just not taking it your word, because it's hard for me to buy what you do say, Christopher Wray, because it's continuing day by day. Jeez. Anyway, yeehaw. Let's go over here. We're gonna get to the border in a little bit. I think the U.S. Exit from Afghanistan was bad. Looks what's brewing in the Pacific. This article here talks about the fact that we've got our forces forward projected way out toward the first island chain almost of around China, but we don't have a lot of support in the rear. In fact, China's been cutting deals with a lot of the island nations that are to our rear, and there's concerns that they could really take us out from behind, especially when you consider that we're only considered to have enough missiles and such to fight for a few days. How are we supposed to fight China, for Pete's sake, with a situation like that? Begs a lot of questions, and begs the whole calculus of what we're up to over there. But we are sending 5 aircraft carriers, or expected to the Pacific region as a show of force. Might be a shallow show of force. We'll set our boats around, we'll beat our chest and whistle Yankee Doodle, but that's about it. Maybe, I don't know, guys. And here's the fleet right now. Well, look, there's already 4 over here: the Theodore Roosevelt, the Carl Vinson, the Mayorkas, and the Reagan. I got one way down here called the Polar Star. I guess a Polar Star will stay down there. Why is it down? Who's our threat from Antarctica? Well, we got a carrier way down here. I guess it could buck up here if it needs to. I don't know what kind of carrier that is. That's probably not a regular aircraft carrier. Maybe a helicopter carrier. I don't know. But look over here. We got 3 over here. The Patton, the Dwight D. Eisenhower, and Pat Forcewell, however you say that. I don't know, guys. But, And they're still having a slugfest as usual over in Europe between Russia and Ukraine. On land, the Russians seem to have the upper hand. But at sea, in the Black Sea, it seems to be going in favor of the Ukrainians, who don't really have a regular navy. They have taken out all but apparently 5 of the Russian naval ships there. That just shows you the power of asymmetric warfare. They're not going up big ship to big ship. They're using little drones and stuff like that. And that's going to be the future of warfare, is drones and smaller vehicles other than these bigger ones. And you can see the bigger ones can fall prey to the little guy coming in the day or night. So those drones have wreaked havoc. And you can expect more of that. And of course, Barack. Last thing we need is Trump, because Trump made some attacks on NATO. Well, what's happened since Trump said that is Germany has jumped up and started spending what they were supposed to have spent to start with. These countries had made commitments to put a certain amount of their GNP into the military, and they weren't doing it because, well, we don't need to do that. America's got our back. Well, now suddenly they're waking up. Well, maybe we need to. They're waking up to that. So, and you know what? There's enough GDP between the European nations to cover themselves completely if they would do it. But, they've been riding on Easy Street for a while, so they need to wake up. If they're worried about Russia, they need to prepare for it. Anyway, here's an article by, whoa, it's jumping on me. How about that? I hate that one. I had everything open and it wants to close it. What are they doing now? Just constant blah, 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 blah. Anyway, Thomas Jefferson argued that the only moral purpose of government is to protect individual rights. The only moral purpose. Where's our government today? They hate individual rights, it seems. The only moral purpose of government is to protect individual rights. You see how they wrote the Constitution? They wrote it specifically to protect rights and to give all rights, not to, according to the federal government, to states and to individuals directly. Whatever wasn't accorded to states was accorded to the individual. Is that where we're at today? No, no. Hey, Snowden just bashed the federal government just Wednesday because of what they're doing to the Fourth Amendment. You know, we know they've already been after the First Amendment quite heavily, and Amendment number 2, well, apparently they don't like any of them, it seems, because it gets in the way of power. Well, the whole purpose was to keep power from aggregating this way. The founding fathers did not even want to see the United States maintain a standing army because they understood that a standing army would create a bureaucracy and a life of its own and was a threat to a free people. Well, we've had a standing army for a long time. Now, who warned us about a standing army? Who warned us about that? Oh, yeah, by the way, this article is written by none other than Andrew Napolitano. You've probably seen him on Fox News. He's quite a popular speaker there. He starts it out talking about Nietzsche, and everybody thinks Nietzsche was didn't believe in God, but he didn't say that. You know, he said God was dead, but what he was talking about, with respect to the minds of the people at the time, people were not living in accordance with the religion anymore. They'd fallen away from it. And, you know, the article here today says America today epitomizes a culture of death. Talks about all the stuff the United States does. Well, now Napolitano, however you say his name, he is here calling for America to pull out of NATO. Look at this. Bring the troops home, leave NATO, shut down our 1,000+ military bases, shrink the defense budget, sell the Pentagon. Wow. Abolish income taxes, worship God in public. Well, think about all the crime and just stuff going on in the streets today. We took God out of schools, we took God out of the public. You know, maybe he's on to something here. What do y'all think? Anyway, guys, so he's definitely railing on this stuff. I think he's somewhere on it. Anyway, but we had none other than one of the only that we only had five-star generals here in the United States, and they all got their stars back in WW2 when we had 16 million men in arms in service from the United States, men and women, mostly men. We put forward a military, 16 million members to take out Germany and Japan. Could we do that today? We can't fill the ranks of 1.5 million force. Jeez. But this guy right here, Dwight D. Eisenhower, he waited till his presidency was over because he was smart. He realized if he said this early on, he might wind up like JFK. JFK made a mistake of saying it while he was still president. Look what he got. Well, Mr. Dwight D. Eisenhower waited till he was heading out the door. And what did he warn us about? He warned us about the influence of the military-industrial complex. Really echoing what the founding fathers told us. When a 5-star general who helped win WW2, who became president for 8 years, comes out and says this, you think there might be something to it? I don't know. You think he might have been on to something? Yeah, maybe JFK was too. Maybe that's why his days were through. Anyway, guys, let's go back over. Let's talk about some other news here. We got some good news. Yeah, the House impeached Mayorkas. And a historic vote. You know, they tried to get him once. There were 4 rhinos that voted against it. Well, this time they managed to actually pull it through. Yeah, you're on to something there, Arnold. So they actually managed to pull through. I'm going to check the chat room when I get down here. All right, we got 108 in the room now. That's good. So, yeah, the House has done this. Now, it takes the Senate to convict. The Senate's got a lot of rhinos in there because the Senate, put out that last so-called immigration bill. Now they got that new aid bill for everybody but us. It doesn't include anything about taking care of our border. What have I said here earlier in this channel? I said that a government that won't defend its borders is illegitimate and probably shouldn't even exist. If you can't defend your own citizens, then what are you doing? We're out here projecting power all over the world, but we're not taking care of ourselves at home. Jeez. and then you try to stop a state like Texas is trying to. We'll talk more about that and the perils of it. Oh, come on, don't go somewhere else. X is about that. I had a certain thing drilled up. Now it's wanting to go, Lord only knows where. Oh, there it is. It's still in the right place here. This is the vote. This is the vote. They squeaked it through 214 to 213. I don't know if the Senate will convict because the Senate's got a whole lot of rhinos up in it. But and I don't know if the House would do this again next time. So here's what we got to watch out for. But hey, I like this. Hang on one minute, guys. House should impeach the entire Biden administration. By Jeremy Poff. Well, you know, I think this guy might be onto something. Start from the bottom and work your way up. That way they can't fall down on some of these lower guys and make them POTUS. Start from the lower level and work your way up. See, now you might remember George Santos was a congressman from up in the New York area, and he was corrupt, and he was Republican, and he got taken out, and unfortunately he got replaced by a Democrat. So the Republican margin is going down. So they won that vote by one vote, and it took two tries to get it. First time they didn't succeed. So this is why your vote matters a lot. Believe me, your vote actually does matter because a lot of things in this country happen by slim margins. If you're in the United States, we got a lot of people here. It's not in the United States. We got Norway in the house. We got like Canadians. We got Australians in here. We're worldwide. But, you know, this is not just the way it goes in America. This is all over the world. All over the world. Especially in our Western countries. And we got 60 nations up for election this year. So this year is going to be a big changer no matter what. Anyway, former U.S. border chief slammed Mayorkas for fighting so hard to keep the border open. You know, I did a video talking about just that, about how hard the federal government was working to jerk everybody across the border they could get in the country, it seemed. Yikes. Yeah. So this article, talking about closing where it's been a while since I opened this thing here. I'm going to skip that one now. Had that article open for a day or two. I don't know. It's evading my memory. I'm not going to read it out to you guys. All right. As I mentioned to you guys before, also the Texas legislature put out $11.6 billion to secure their border. Their border with Mexico is over half the border with Mexico. And they're stopping immigration coming in through Texas. And all the United States has got to do is stop the other part of it, if they would do it. We can't stop it. We got to have 5,000, what was this, 5,000, 4,000, 5,000 a day, as long as it don't exceed 8,500 in a single day. Oh, yeah, here's why I wanted this article up. I remember now. That's why I had it scroll down here. Well, there's a good question for the Democrats who are wanting to claiming we can't, shut the border down, and we got to have all these people crossing the border. So see what they're talking about is, we'll let in 5,000 a day or more, then we'll shut the border down. So this article asks a simple little question. If the border can be shut down when more than 5,000 illegal immigrants cross per day, then why can't it be shut down immediately right now? Texas is doing it. See what I'm saying, guys? They don't want to do it because they still want all those folks coming across. Well, I talked to you guys about that video recently of Cloward and Piven. The hidden agenda. It's called socialism. Oh, yeah. And look at this. Why so many Chinese come crossing the border? And these main news stories always like to show that occasional family that's coming across. So that's what they put headline right here up in front for everybody to say, well, we got some family coming across. Yeah, they're having economic difficulties in China. But you know something? You don't get out of China without permission. And communist nations don't like their citizens fleeing. Gabby, wow, salute to you. Thank you. And I will have a swig of coffee on that. It's probably the only thing I'll make on this video tonight. So thank you. Platform likes to demonetize all these live videos. A lot of the others too. So that's probably the only thing I'll make on tonight. Gabby, salute and thank you. And here's a toast to you of coffee. So I don't take my sleep laying down. I take it in the cup. So, salute. All righty, folks. Yeah, there's a lot of cute Chinese people. They're beautiful people. Too bad they got such an onerous party on them in mainland China, the CCP. Yeah, if I was there, I'd be wanting out too. But I see a lot of pictures and videos from YouTubers and others go down the border. And what do you find crossing? Looks more like that. Let's see. I think I got another better picture somewhere. Border Patrol Union warns of spike in military-aged men from China crossing the border. How come the picture ain't coming up? Some pictures that we're just not seeing. Maybe the platform is suppressing them now. Yeah, there's just pictures of just lines after lines of military-aged young men coming across. Surprised this picture's even coming out. Anyway, guys, so just pouring across the border, sparking all kinds of national security concerns. Why should we be concerned? There's no reason to be concerned. Holy guacamole smoking moly. Here we are. Look at that. There's one. How many families do you see in this picture? Tell me, how many families do you see in that picture? All lining up to get what? Free food. They get over here and they get cards and food stamps and all kind of social programs. Now, what could possibly go wrong with that? Well, nothing, according to PolitiFact, fact checkers. Nothing's wrong. They just need a better day. Oh, check your PayPal. I will. All righty. Hang on, guys. So, here we go here. Migrant crime turning cities into war zones. Now, this isn't the gangs. Still, the Venezuelans are now the primary people crossing the border. And again, a lot of Venezuelans would legitimately want to leave because Venezuela is a hole right now because it's being ruled by a communist party, and communism is economic deprivation. It runs people. Hey, we got a donation. Yes, sir. We got a donation from Michelle. Oh my gosh, Michelle. That's awesome. $50 donation. Salute, Michelle. Thank you. You made my night. Hot dog. Yeah. Rodney, Larry Smith sees an army. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. And then we've had YouTubers that fly. They come in through Colombia. No, not Colombia. Ecuador. Because coming in Ecuador, they don't need a visa from China. But you don't get out of China without permission. Absolutely not. You can't even travel in China without permission. So how do they get transportation to get out of China? They got permission. They get over, and they got guides on TikTok talking them all the way across and even telling them how to answer questions so that they will be judged to be an asylum seeker. Oh, yeah. And the question process has been cut short. U.S. Senate betrays America. Billions for Ukraine and Israel, but not a single dollar to secure the U.S. border. Anybody know Mr. Mike Adams? He got banned from the channel platform. Anyway, yeehaw. Other stuff. Now, this Darien Gap is a gap that they crossed through in Panama, coming across. It's very dangerous. A lot of mayhem is going on down here in this Darien Gap area, guys. All this because we got an open border. All kind of human suffering. We're so nice and wonderful letting them do that. Oh, my gosh. So, oh, yeah, this kind of goes along with that other article I showed you guys a little bit ago. Former Israeli ambassador Oren, ambassador to Israel, said U.S. should kick UN headquarters out of New York City. Man, that would be a good piece of urban renewal. If you think the United States should kick the UN out of New York City, put a 1 in the chat room. If you think the UN ought to stay where it is, put a 2 in the chat room. I'd be interested to see what you guys say about that. Oh, let's see here. White House says risky Chinese research can harm Americans, especially if they come out that 100% fatal version of this cough bug that takes out 100% of the humanized mice. Oh, yeah, they're talking about it over there. Never mind that we might have a Wuhan in our backyard. And it might even be American labs because we got over 200 dangerous biolabs right here in the United States of A, guys. And they're all over the world. They're in your countries too. You guys from other nations here, you got them. And so do even places like probably Somalia. They're in Afghanistan. They're all over the world, guys. Some people don't like us to go. Oh, yeah, remember that thing we found in Reedy, California? Uh-huh. I think they misspelled it. It's not Reedley, I don't think. I think it's Reedy. Oh, yeah. Where they found all those vials of stuff, the humanized mice. No kidding, guys. The stuff that we're finding. And, you know, a lot of these labs, so what they're talking about here is the level 3 and level 4 biolabs that are right here in the United States. If any of them makes the wrong mistake, they got a lot of nasty bugs in those biolabs. What if one of them gets loose? Wouldn't be the first time, guys. Thousands of vials. Let's talk about what they found in Reedy. Some bear names, HIV and Ebola. Ebola. Kind of rhymes with Lola. Remember my video about Kamala? Anyway. And economic news. Guys, we got companies laying people off like crazy right now. Times are getting tough. They're trying to sweep this under the rug and say their economy is doing great. I don't see any twos in the chat room here. Yeah, I think people like to see the UN get put on a boat and set sail. You know, Reagan kind of threatened that once upon a time. I wished we'd have listened. Anywho, you know, guys, with everything happening in the economy, with all the pressure to put up CBDCs, check out my go to Defy the Grid. Links for that will be below too. Need to check that out. Get you some gold backs. I'm gonna do a video soon. I'm just gonna talk about the economy and BRICS countries and where they're projecting gold to go. Guys, I'd highly advise you to go to Defy the Grid and use the code GreenGregs when you go there. Because that'll get you 1% discount. And it'll help me too. I get 1%, you get 1%. Now, those guys only make 3 or 4% margin on what they're selling there. That's why they can give you the guarantee that if you find a better price somewhere else, they'll meet it, or they'll beat it or meet it. So that's quite a claim. You can get bullion and coins, gold, silver, platinum. Anyway, officially or not, Kamala Harris is the 2024 Democratic nominee. Why? Because Taterhead will probably, how long is he going to be able to even stay in office? I expect the 25th Amendment might get a vote pretty darn soon, just like I sung to you here in my song. Kamala, you know, to the tune of Lola. You know, another bait and switch song. That's about a bait and switch thing. And Kamala kind of rhymes with, you know, it lends itself easily to a song like Lola. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, that's what I think about it. It's how I feel about it. I may have a picture or two I can bring up a little bit on that accord here. Anyway, guys, sad times are in. Oh, yeah. You know, radio stations were the bulwark of the conservative movement for so long. You know, we had all the talk radio. Guess what? Our good buddy, Uncle Georgie, he went and bought 200 of them right ahead of the big event for this year. Look at that snarling look on his face. Oh, yeah, he loves us so much. Oh, my goodness, guys. Yikes. What do y'all think? Oh, how long we been going? 53 minutes. I had so much stuff open, I'm probably not going to do the weather unless I go back and close a bunch of other stuff out, because I'm really maxing out my memory. I got so many things open right now. Wow. So we're probably not going to do weather and earthquakes unless y'all beg for it here. Anyway, guys, so we're in a pickle. A lot of people just don't want to see it. They don't want to face it. They try to downplay it. It's not an easy thing to accept. I don't want to believe it. I'd rather not believe it myself. I was in denial that, you know, until I fell down the rabbit hole back when I started. There's a certain novel I chose I wanted to write, and I started doing the research for, and it was like, oh my gosh, maybe I'll do that novel yet one of these days. But anyway, guys, yikes. Georgie. I got to see if I can close some stuff here. What could I close? The problem is I like to save a lot of these to other things before I close them. And so it's not just hitting the X button. I like to save it first. That takes a lot of time. I'm kind of maxed out on memory right now. So we're just pure news here until I start looking at the chat room, guys. But we are in a world of hurt, folks. Yeah, Michelle, that was a wonderful super chat. Thank you so much. Thank you very, very, very much. So, wait a minute. It's a different animal. Okay, very good. Wow. Guys, there's also a threat with drones. It's a lot worse than you might think. I'm going to work with a guy, and he's got a presentation that's got stuff that we couldn't present because it would be too dangerous to present. The presentation I saw today was, oh my gosh, over the top. What people could do with drones here in the United States is frightening. The fact that we got so many people coming to this country that don't love us is frightening. And we got people that are already here that don't love us. That's frightening. When you think about where we're at as a nation, as a people, and it's not just here in the United States, it's all the Western, it's happening all across the Western spectrum of nations. And, what it is they don't want nations. What did Cloward and Piven talk about? Disorder, breaking down the order, breaking down the countries, then coming back out of the chaos and create. Oh, yeah. Who was it that used to say order by chaos? Oh, yeah. Create chaos and then create your order. A new one, if you know what I'm talking about. That used to be a real popular moniker. I've not been saying that too much lately, probably because if you talk about too much, you get the big foot put on you and you'd be gone. Kind of like Mike over there did that article, Mr. Adams. Yeah, he used to have a big channel on this platform, but no more. No more. Well, he went over the top on a few topics. He got in some areas that I won't go into. But anyway, guys, so I'm going to read the chat room. All right, the news segment is over. We're going to chat for a little bit. You can ask me questions. I'm going to scroll through the chat room here. And for the people that watch early on for the news, I try to put that stuff up front, but it's my chat room audience that's keeping this channel going. They're the ones that's carrying the water because the platform demonetizes so many of my videos. It's not funny. Is he even a U.S. citizen? Soros? Who knows? He may have a citizenship, but guys, he didn't come from here. And yikes, he very much fits the prescription of Cloward and Piven. Unfortunately, he made his money breaking currencies. He broke national currencies. He caused a lot of harm and mayhem. Yeah, he's a philanthropist. He's a good guy, according to so many. How do you become a good guy from crashing economies and crashing money and things like that? Well, he made his money crashing money. Anyway, all right. Maybe that's the first comment. I don't know. Arnold Smith said 1 is this chicken number. And how many thumbs up have we got? Let me hit I'm going to hit the refresh button. Yeah, we got 110 in the room here, which is pretty good. Let's see here. Steffers J, Tiffany, Tom Weary. Thought Harris was a border czar. Yeah, she was supposed to be. That was one. If I'd had a little bit more time, see, when I do those shorts, they got to be only a minute long. I had another verse I wanted to put in there. Had to do with being a border czar, about as effective as a pickle jar or something like that. I had a little pickle jar border czar thing I was wanting to put in there. I thought it'd be funny to add to that song, and maybe I'll do a longer version one day and embellish it some more and sing it with a slower tempo, like la 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 ka ka kamala, and do it with the tempo the song was meant for. But I had to go fast just to get what I got in there within 1 minute, and I actually cut out some lines to be able to do that. I timed it and went back, and as like I said, there's another verse or two or another stanza or two I could put in there. I could have even did a few more to brought it more in keeping with the song from which it originated. So, or at least the tune that I borrowed. So anyway, guys, so you gotta have a little fun with this stuff. You really do. If you don't, you get liable to cry. It's so insane. It's so insane. But comedy gets attention, and there's nothing wrong with having a little comedy. We need a little relief with all the stuff going on. Some people, oh, Greg, all you do is fearmonger. No. If you think that, then you haven't really understood my channels, that I'm more about prevention, and then secondly, about preparing in case it don't go right. Why do you think I've chaired 2 power grid defense conferences? Why am I still an active member of 2 power grid defense organizations? Why is it that I have done several videos to warn people about things that are potential? Well, the warning sometimes can avert the actual event. Sometimes just putting it out there, like this whole notion we put out there, the danger of Zaporizhia. Boy, them boneheads were over there throwing artillery shells all around it from both sides. Apparently, they didn't fully get it, but they seem to have gotten it now. But it's still at risk because there's still a war raging around there. Yeah, they've managed to shakily maintain power there to keep those cooling pools pumping water, thankfully, so far. Let's hope they can keep it that way, or else they got a bad situation at hand over there. And that's not a direct threat over here, at least initially. But, we did get some cesium isotopes here in America when Fukushima went bad. But Fukushima never had a meltdown in the cooling pools because the national infrastructure was still in place, and they got the fire trucks in there to keep pumping water in for a long time. Now they're talking about releasing that water into the Pacific. Fortunately, the Pacific's a mighty big pond, so it will be highly diluted. But you might want to watch it when you're eating fish with bones in them, at least in terms of eating the bones. We always like to get tuna and salmon, and it was pressure cooked because you could eat the bones. Watch that now. Watch it. Especially the higher level fish, or that are more bioaccumulative of what they eat. The higher they are in the food chain, the more things like that will accumulate. And strontium-90 has an affinity for calcium, so it will go to the bones. And if you eat it, it's going to go to your bones. And then it'll be a gift that just keep on giving. It'll just be like that little radio beacon inside of you, zzz, 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 putting out radiation. You don't want that. All right, maybe you can put a Geiger counter on your canned fish. See, is my fish radioactive? Oh, yeah, I got a Geiger counter. You think I wouldn't? I've had this thing for probably 15 years, long before I started the channel talking prepping, because I was a prepper way before then. As soon as I recognized the threat to our grid and what it meant for those nuclear power plants, that's when I said, oh, no, I just can't sit around. I got to do something. And what else did I do actively? I started the Freedom Restoration Foundation. Maybe somebody put the link to that in the chat room. And the Survival Tribe Network, and which thankfully Vows picked up and created a website for out of her own pocket at great expense, mind you. So you guys need to avail yourself to these resources while you can. And I've got a lot of videos on here talking about nuclear survival, bug out, just regular bug out. I got videos about nuclear bug out. I did videos on each separately. And, just nuclear survival. I got videos on EMP survival, and just a whole lot talking about the threat. I covered the threat before I talked about the survival techniques, just to get people's attention. And before I went into the wild edible series, the first video I did was how to purify and sanitize water. Many methods for that, because you can live a while without food, but you can't live a while without water. So I'm here talking about, the dried long-term storage food. But before I went into showing you guys that stuff, I talked about wild edibles at some great extent. And I'll do some more of that in the future, especially when I go out west and got a whole plethora of different wild edibles around me. So I'll have to reinitiate that series and do a Western version. Who knows? Maybe I'll travel up to Maine or some other states, and cover what they got in different places. So I think that would be very instructive and very helpful for all you guys. Anywho, yes, sir. Thanks for the message, says Rodney. Glad you got it. All right. Thank you for sharing that link, New Days. My last video. You are my Galentines and Palestines. I hope I ain't a Galentine. I'll tell you what, though, guys. I started brewing my own tea because it cost a lot to buy it in a jug. And so I had a pot I put on, upstairs, and I said, I'll go run up there in a little bit. I'll turn it on and go back in a little bit once it starts steaming and turn it off and put my tea bags in it. And I got busy down here and forgot it. And I went back upstairs, and it wasn't only just dry. You know that little glass piece in the top of those coffee percolators? It felt like glass. It looked like glass. And it wasn't. It was plastic. That thing melted. And chemicals all up there. All them gender bender chemicals might, if I get up there and breathe too much out of the air before it settles down, it might turn me into a girl. I'd make an ugly girl. I hope not. No, that ain't happening. I'm sorry, guys. I'd make one ugly girl. Got no interest in being the Lola, not me. Anyway, what's the code? Oh, yeah. The code is Green Grigs. Yeah, anytime you show the Defy the Grid, mods, anytime you show the Defy the Grid, always put my code in because I will get nothing out of that link unless you use the Green Grigs code. Now, some links, like my link for, if you go to Prep with Greg, by going in through Prep with Greg, I'm covered. If you use my links, the links I provide for Tree Leaf Market and Eden Brothers, just by using that link, I'm covered. But if you go to the website of Defy the Grid, I only get any credit if you use the code Green Grigs. So please put the code. There you go, New Days. That's the way to show it. Show, you know, directly to Greg. Yeah, there you go. You can donate directly to me if you're in the United States. Unfortunately, those buttons apparently don't work for internationals because I restricted worm purchases, and then I didn't realize that it extended to all the buttons, including the donate button. I don't know. I'm going to when I'm in transition, setting up in Arizona, I won't be selling worms. There'll be too many other things to do. So I'm going to shut the worm sales down entirely. I have restricted to just the smaller orders for now because I don't have a staff to harvest worms for me right now. We've been shipping a few worms every week lately, but I'm going to have to shut that down pretty soon because I got one girl working for me, and it takes her 3 hours just to harvest a pound of worms. And that's a lot of labor on top of all the overhead costs I got in this. A lot of labor costs. Plus, I got to pay for shipping. Shipping's very expensive now. It just keeps going up. I've got a friend that's got a worm farm, big worm farm, that I may set up an affiliate link with her, but we got to talk about how to make that work. So, and I may be selling a whole lot of worm farm stuff. I may sell the whole enchilada. So I donated to you on PayPal. I got that, Michelle. Salute to you. Thank you very much. I will check PayPal again in a minute, see if anybody else has followed your leading example. We had a couple of people last time I was in here do that. A couple. All right. You got my rocket case in there. Yeah. Sing it, Rocket Man. Who has a rocket in the backyard? Yeah, me. I got the remnants of the DCX rocket. The first one that flew around like a helicopter and landed and got reused many times. The pilot of that, the guy who actually ran the controller, was I'm getting names crossed in my head. You hate it when somebody's name pops in your head and you can't get the right name in your head. Oh my gosh. Geez. I did a video on him on my Galactic Greg's channel. Oh, Pete Conrad. Sure enough, Pete Conrad. Man, he was a pistol. He was a fireball. Pete Conrad was. He was a fireball. He actually ran the controller. If you go on the Wayback Machine and look for the DCX Hall of Fame, you'll find me listed pretty close to the top of that list. Not because I got it in my backyard at all, but because I helped sell that program. Remember telling you I used to run the halls of Congress and do stuff? Before I was chairman of the policy committee of the National Space Society, I was the chairman of the phone tree. And I pushed real hard to get that program through. And the program manager of the program appreciated that, and he gave me top billing. Every time I'd see him, he was always so thankful to me. And always invite me. Always nice. He passed away, unfortunately. Let's see here. Go through some more chats here. See what folks are saying. Do I get another super chat? Scroll down. Gabby gave me $25. Somebody else just put 20 in here. So I believe there's another one. I must have missed it. Whoa, where'd it go? Showing 20 at the top. I don't see it as I'm looking. Oh, how come I don't want to scroll now? Ding, ding, ding. That's one of the reasons I watch this, is try to catch the super chats. It's frozen. My screen's frozen. All right, folks. I can't move nothing. Dang me, they ought to hang me from the highest tree. Baby, won't you wait for me? I'll sing if I can't do nothing else. Where's that? I can't scroll it. All right, let me go to the screen here on this computer. Wait a minute. No, it's frozen. What's it frozen? Let me hit the refresh button. Ding, 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 ding. That'll tell me how many thumbs up I got, too. All right, we only got 72 thumbs up. Holy rocket smoke moly, folks. Okay, now I can scroll that. So, show me the $25 one. So how come I didn't see the 20? There it is. You don't know me, Mom. Salute to you. You don't know me, Mom. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I appreciate that. And hey to you. All right. You don't know me, Mom. Awesome. Now I can't go all the way to the top. This chat room scroll real funky. Tiffany, resident of Bellevue, Washington, attempted to donate a Cold War era missile, a Douglas AR-2 Genie rocket, previously known as MB-1, to the Air Force Museum, which alerted authorities. The museum in Alamogordo was interested in this, and I tried to sell it to them. They didn't want to pay 1 red cent for it, but they were willing to pay for a truck to come all the way down here and pick it up and ship it up there, which was a bunch of money. It's like, you don't want to pay me anything, but you'll pay for a truck. Come on. I might still wind up giving them most of it because it's got to go somewhere if I sell this place, which it looks like what I'm doing. Unless the buyer of the property wants a rocket in their backyard. That's quite a, who else has got a big rocket in their backyard? Yeah, that was a history-making rocket. Go on the interweb, as W. Bush would have called it, the internets, and look it up. DC-6 rocket. You can see it flying around. That was the rocket that inspired Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos to come up with their launch companies, by the way. So there's been a lot of spinoff from some of the things I did. Hey, Judy's in the house. Very good. It's really late for her. She's looking after a grandyoung and has to get him off to school every day. Good to see you in the house, Judy. I know that's a big thing for you. Lola with Ebola, says Nick Smuts. Or whatever else, right? Yikes. Hey, Greg and Found, says Patrick Bellamar. All right. My guess is the neighbors were concerned about their kids being pit bulls. Oh, I don't know what y'all talking about there, but that don't sound good. I wouldn't want to live next to a guy with dozens of pit bulls. Now, dozens? Ooh. Yeah, there might be something wrong with that. Why would somebody have dozens of them? You know, a lot of people use those dogs, you know, for tearing each other up. I gotta be careful what I say on here. The inmates are real running this asylum, and you're right. You know, it's like we're living in like a dozen different bad B-grade science fiction movies, but one of them wasn't a science fiction movie. There's a certain documentary that was portrayed to be in the future called Idiocracy. I think we're living in idiocracy today. What can you say? Sputnik 2, nuke from space, fears all over. Could be. The damage that can be done from a nuke in space is horrendous. It is off the charts. You are acclimatized to the continent. That's a big advantage compared to newbies at the border. So we got somebody in the house called Hunter's dad. Anyway, packs of dogs are no. Yeah, dogs in a pack. Well, it's like mob rule, guys. You know, it's like mob rule. You know, it's dogs are predators. Tiffany and Larry ended up with 5 at one time, all big, had a special trainer work with me to manage the pack. All different ball games when it's a pack. Yeah. Let's see. Where's the, oh yeah, there he is. Hunter's dad, dang straight. Okay, there he is. Hunter's dad. Well, that's a funny name. Yeah, we should get Al Gore come in here. We've even had what's her name? Greta show up. Yeah. Yeah, you got to be the head dog. That's the truth. If they get the idea that you're not the head dog, watch out. That might be hard to do with a whole bunch of them. Is my rocket big enough to turn it into an Airbnb? Well, not quite. I think I need some renovation. Yeah, it needs some renovation and a bunch of money. Something I ain't got a whole lot of right now. I got to watch my pennies right now. I agree. My son's name is based off a good friend from Denzel Washington's Commander Hunter from Crimson Tide. Okay. That's quite a movie. Crimson Tide. So good friend and Denzel Washington's Commander Hunter. Okay, very good. Hey, Colorado Jan, good to see you back in the house. Let's go here and check on my PayPal again. I read all the messages I could read. So pull up straight in PayPal. I usually get an email as soon as anything goes to PayPal, but I'm gonna go straight to PayPal and make sure. Ding, 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 ding. It's all on my phony unit. Ooh, nice. Sweet. All right. All right, Tiffany. Larry Smith, I had a farm. I had a hat with a giant horns that lit up, made me the biggest. We had playground rockets as kids. Oh, yeah. Remember that when you had the little slide that was a rocket? That was pretty cool. Sure enough. Did the rocket rock on a big spring. Ours did. Nah, not the one I got in the backyard. They had some of those in the playgrounds, though. Yes, sir. It's a good film. Oh, yeah. It was a good film. So maybe didn't they play Sweet Home Alabama in that movie too? That song's been played in so many movies. It's not funny. Heard it on the radio today. Sweet Home Alabama. Lord, I'm coming home to you. How's the new going? New what, Gabby? How's the new what? I got a new tiny home I've been building out in Arizona, but I've not been out there for about 5 weeks now. I got to get back out there, but I got some paperwork I got to finish. I got to finish the 1099s and get all the data for that until yesterday. And I got some caps put in today. 2 caps added. They started the procedure for my insurance is over, so I hope the insurance is going to cover it. If not, it's going to be rough. And I did have to lay out some cash for it, but I figured I better get them while the getting's good. Yeah, if you need a medical procedure, get it now. If you need any kind of medical procedure, don't waste time. Grid goes down. I want to tell you guys, it's like a game of musical chairs. When the music's over, you got to sit down, and what you got at that point is all you got. So that's why you need, I highly encourage you to get long-term food storage. I encourage you to grow your own food and store that as much as you can. But if you're not there, you need to double up on getting a long-term food storage. A good thing about the stuff I'll show you is it comes in those big plastic buckets that are easy to carry around, by the way, and they're sealed. And the pouches inside them are sealed. You can bury that stuff. So if they come looking through your pantries, Billy Bob up the street comes digging through your pantries, if you got it buried, you ain't gonna find it. So, but if you want to keep them in your house, they stack real easy. You don't need shelves for them. Just stack them on top of each other. You can stack them all the way to the ceiling. That's a good thing about that stuff. And it lasts 25 years. It lasts a lot long. The canned stuff can last a long time, but it will if it's at the right temperature range. Like I said, I had a bunch of it I had to take out and to put in the storage, and it all went bad. That was really sad. Like, oh no, I lost a bunch of stuff.
I've still yet to see the movie. Yeah, you watch that movie. It's a good movie. Got a lot of suspense in it. Gatorade for watering crops. I don't know about that. I don't even want to drink Gatorade myself. Too much sugar in it. Well, I went back on my low carb diet just a few days ago. I've already started losing weight again, so that helps. Anyway, Larry Smith, eat meat, not the bugs. I've seen where there are some people that are on pure beef diets, and they're doing just fine, doing very well. So I know that's okay. Yikes. So, Tiffany, simpler times, kids today are missing out. Yeah, that's the truth. It was once upon a time that kids could be kids, you know, and run around outside and do things outside. That's what kids really need the most. Get the exercise, get the fresh air, socialize. Today it's all, and I got to worry what they're going to do. Now they're going to put in glasses from Apple, those new glasses they got, and they'll all be walking around. I've seen a couple of videos, people walking around, they're doing this as they're walking, or driving a car, driving a Tesla, and they're doing this. It's like, what are they doing? Oh, I saw where one of the ladies who's a big fan of Elon had her car on basically autopilot. She no longer exists. So that autopilot, you better be paying attention, just like you're driving. You might have to take over. I mean, it's good at a lot of stuff, but it ain't 100%, guys. It's not 100%. Options for you and your family. Oh, Arnold's trying to help somebody out. Arnold's a good guy. He's very helpful, very good guy, very helpful, very diligent. So salute to Arnold. Arnold's been very helpful. Good friend. If you got Arnold for a friend, you got a good friend. For all of you too. I've made a lot of good friends through this channel. Really good friends. Really, really good friends. I need to get a set of false teeth made. I have an old upper, but they're worn. Now, what the teeth they put in me, the crowns they gave me are based on zirconium. And it's a ceramic based on zirconium. They tell me they're harder than actual teeth. So hopefully they'll last a while. And the cement they put them in with, ooh, that's some strong stuff. I basically had a jackhammer out of my head after they put it in. The cement that came out around the edges. That was no fun. Anyway, still waiting for the x-ray glasses. Well, 50 years ago. Well, Larry, there were nothing but chicken feathers inside those x-ray glasses. Tell you what, because they disrupted vision and made things look fuzzy like you're seeing through stuff. They're just chicken feathers. My real teeth were very soft, and the dentist, while I was growing up, would only put temporary fillings in. Wow. That always tickled my dad, ticked your dad off. Oh, yeah, well, some people do have soft teeth, soft bones too. First wife had bones that would very soft and breakable. Then she didn't drink nothing but Dr. Peppers. And you got to realize a lot of these colas will demineralize your bones. They're not good for you. Colas are terrible for you. I don't drink colas. I only drink three things: water, tea, and coffee. Mostly tea and coffee. That's all I drink. And that's it. I drink my tea unsweet, and I take my coffee black. I mean, nothing in it. Nothing in it. All right. Regnor says she got the Darwin Award. Yeah, she did. She got the Darwin Award. Absolutely. Yikes. Yeah, she just thought, it's Carl Drive. I ain't got to worry about it. Do whatever she's doing. Paying attention. Bang. Anywho, yeah, I saw an article. I don't put up all the articles I see. Plant figs, lots of food from a small place. Yeah, I got a couple fig trees back here next to my greenhouse. The greenhouse was, but that cold spell, not this one, the one last winter, killed them down. They started coming back, but I'm sure this cold spell probably gave them another hard bite. They had a good cold spell this winter. Thank God the 9-year-old didn't take any. Well, I don't know what case y'all are talking about there. Anywho, all right, we've been going to see it's 2:37. Let's get out of here a little early tonight. Yeah, Arnold's a good guy. And we got a lot of good people on the chat here. Don't forget, we're family. If you're in the chat room here, we got a lot of the same people coming back. We're really family. I appreciate all you coming in here and giving your support and being part of the community. New Days. I do believe by now you owe me a strip tease. Oh my. Too far away to stuff bills in your drawers. You know what? She tries to make me blush, and she actually gets away. She makes me blush. Holy smoke! Salute New Days. Thank you. You're the only person that made me blush on here. Holy black and smoke moly. Salute the New Days. A strip tease. Oh my goodness. I don't know. Most people wouldn't want to see that. You're a glutton for punishment, New Days. Especially get paid for that. Holy, well, I could smoke them all. Never thought I'd be a paid stripper. Yikes. Well, I'm not going to do it here and now on a live video on YouTube on this family channel. Anyway, yeah, New Days has a way of jerking my chain like nobody else. She knows how to jerk my chain, push my button, make me blush. Holy walking smoke-a-moly. Yeah, she's awesome. She is really awesome. I'll tell you what, too, that woman can cook. Woo-wee. She can cook. She's awesome. Anyway, happy Valentine's Day, sweetheart. Hey, well, thank you. Happy Valentine's Day to you and all of you. Even though it's now technically the 15th, at least we started out on Valentine's Day. I ain't gone to bed yet, so it's still the same day in my head. Well, that's probably the biggest Valentine's present I ever got in my life. Again, sleep. Thank you, New Days. All right, you guys got to see me blush. Is that worth it? Got my breath away. Anyway, best super chat you read all day. I bet. Pound the table. Do it. Do it. Oh no, Adams, Alabama. I'm not going to do a strip tease here. Be the end of my channel. Plus size, I'd lose all my subscribers. What? You don't want to see it. She might want to see it, but you don't want to see it. Anyway, I'm a ham. Haven't been on air for about 6 years though. I think my license expires next year. All right, you need to see to that. Anyway, yeah, that was a funny one. All right, it's been 364 more days than the Valentine's Day. Okay, well, we hadn't been to bed yet, so it still counts. Anna in the not Z. Okay, Greg, you'll be surprised you could pay for your house with that big old fan money. Oh my God. I'd have to go off YouTube for that. I don't know about that. I am seriously doubting that. What's that channel all these people go to and do that stuff on? What is that called? All the girls going and strip and stuff. What is that called? I can't remember the name of it. I can't remember the name of it. Maybe I'm sure somebody put it in the chat room. Loudy, loudy, loudy. All right, well, you got some good laughs. New Days got away making us all laugh, don't she? Everybody finally, my phone is working better. All right, Duck River Mama, good to see that. All right, Jen, you might make more than that way, Greg. Lord knows, I ain't making anything here except for the super chats I get from you guys. Again, salute. Thank you very much. That was good. OnlyFans. Oh, yeah, that's the name of it. I need somebody to put in the chat room. OnlyFans. There's a website for that. Yeah, Gabby and Tiffany just put it up there. OnlyFans. Yeah, I think if I was on OnlyFans, it'd be a lonely fan. Lonely Fans would be my channel. I have no idea what channel. Yeah, Tiffany posted it. OnlyFans. That's it. Lordy, 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 folks. Y'all funny tonight. Y'all funny. Anyway, and I say the people that don't watch the videos, then they miss all the fun. They miss the fun. Yeah, I'm gonna have to come up with some music to do.
I remember, hey, I saw Gorgeous Awesome in, I think, Rex Bear's chat room or somebody's chat room not long ago. Maybe, no, it was in, not Rex Bear's, it was in the Oppenheimer Ranch project. And I guess they don't step asleep, but apparently they've gone through a rough space, but they're doing better now. They made me this beautiful piece, and they're on Etsy. They do a lot of crystals wrapped in, they do beautiful copper work. So I'll give them a shout out. Check out their Etsy channel, folks. And when you go there, if you get something, tell them that Green Greg sent you. They always like my poetry, my music. They really like my poetry. So I'm really thinking about starting another channel, just, wise old words from an old man kind of a channel. And because I got a lot of stuff, content I can put. It'd be easy videos to do, a lot easier than these videos. And my daughter told me that would go real big. It was never a decent society. Things were just kept more quiet back in the old days. Oh, there's truth in that. Oh, yeah. And, my first wife was married to a Palestinian before she married me. And the stuff she tells me was horrible. And some of the stuff she told me about what actually went on there behind the scenes in the society. So, I was when I was in college, we had a couple we had some really good Muslim guys there. But we had some that were condemning America. They would wear all their traditional garb and they were just cutting down the United States and blah, blah, blah. Y'all are so terrible, blah, blah, blah. So, look, here's out in the open. You got to sweep it on the rug. Besides, we don't use our kids to clear minefields. At the time, the Iranians were sending kids across minefields to clear the minefields. I said, we don't do that. And you don't come here and tell me that you're in some superior mode. You have some superior, whatever, morality. I said, buddy, I don't see it. I just put it right back in his face. So I don't see it. You show me. How's it okay to do this? How's it okay to do that? And I kind of rattled off some of the things I knew, and he shut the heck up. These days I might get my head cut off. If I say it to the wrong people. But anyway, new days. That's it, Greg. OnlyFans account and a gallon of olive oil. Oh my gosh. Oh, Lordy. Lordy, Lordy. Y'all can't be serious, guys. Holy smoke. Secretary Frank Kendall and other officials using a total of 24 charges, including 16 for the Air Force, 5 for the Space Force, and 3 for the entire Department of the Air Force. Oh, changes, not charges. Oh, yeah, they're reorganizing the Air Force. I mentioned that in a previous video. That they hadn't passed, and they had comment once on this and a few people in this unit, a few people in that unit, a few people in that unit. That's no way to fight. Units need to work together like they train and develop. And that's what we're talking about doing now. Rodney says, Gabby B, stop that. You will make me blush. Oh, Lordy, 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 Lordy. That's good as my knives from Rodney. Oh, yeah, Rodney's got some, he's the expert knife maker. Great knife smith. OnlyFans is the name of it. I haven't never heard of. Well, you might not want to go there. I wouldn't. I'm not going to encourage it. Lordy, Lordy, Lordy. Hang on a minute, guys. Show me some things that Rodney sent me. How about Rodney? I believe this is the first one he sent me right here. That's still, guys. Very sharp, beautiful handiwork. Rodney made this. And it comes with this nice leather scabbard here. Then he sent me 2 more. I'm going to figure out a way to give a couple of these away to you guys. Just got to figure out how to administer the giveaway. There's got to be some way I can get addresses to send them to. So here's another one. Also a beautiful heavy duty leather scabbard. They made one which would be a good tool in the kitchen or outdoors, either way. Again, all very beautiful handiwork. Rodney is an excellent knife smith. Check it out, guys. Wonderful. I think I'm gonna give these two away. But I need, hey, I may have one of those addresses. Yeah. Got two people in mind in particular. So I'm on PayPal here a minute. Excuse me. Check something out. Oh, log in. Hmm. I have the data I need here. Anyway, we'll work it out later. All right, Judy, I need one to turn some split wood into kindling. Yeah, I believe these do the job. They're very heavy duty, and very sharp. Some estimates have all human beings related to just 8 breeding females. Well, here's the thing I find interesting. They claim that we all had one somewhere way back in time, one Eve. That's what a lot of people claim. That's a bit hard to believe because now they're also claiming that all the Neanderthal blood that came into Cro-Magnon, modern man, came through the female side of Neanderthals, as if it was from women that were traded or captured in war, or maybe traded to back and forth. That all the bloodlines that we get. So that means either we got to have more than one Eve, if that's true, or that Neanderthal was actually from the same lineage. So we'll figure that out. I don't know. Thank you, Michelle Young, for that. Appreciate that. Yeah, very pretty nice. Gabby, you might have to start by making some more. Oh, Rodney. Sure, Rodney's pretty busy. Let's see here. Gabby, they have no steel or other materials, and it's too hot. I mean, yeah, it's summertime there now. Yeah, it would be hot to strike up a forge. Yeah, he's up in Queensland. It can get pretty darn hot up in Queensland. All right, guys. Let me anywho. Well, tell you what, we've been going for 97 minutes. That's probably long enough for the night. It's almost 3 a.m. I got a lot of work I got to do in the morning. So let's do this. Everybody tell us where you're from, and we'll call it a night. How about that? Tell us where you're from, everyone. New analysis of ancient genomes is deepening scientists' understanding of the Neanderthal DNA carried by human populations in Europe and Asia, genetic traces that may have medicinal relevance today. Yeah, they're blaming a lot of our illnesses on the Neanderthal bloodline. I don't know. That's kind of they can't have been that unhealthy. All right. Marsh rabbits, New Orleans. Hillsboro, West Wilkinson. How you doing, Cheery Weather? Jupiter, Florida. All right. The real calcitrant. I don't know if I can say that right. All right. Pleasant Plains, Ohio. Yes, up in Ohio. Copperopolis, Northern California. Hey, Tiffany. Bella Vista, Arkansas from Michelle. Chicago for Steffers J. Down under says Gabby. And the next one coming up right under you is from down under too. Queensland, Australia. Near Mesquite, Texas. Okay, traveler. Eastern Washington, the Sasquatch Moon. Cape Canaveral. All right, Preston Robert. Awesome. Actually,
Wiesel was just watch the launch down there. She's down there for a little bit in the winter. You know, she kind of goes back and forth a little bit between there and Arkansas. Northern border in Maine, New Days. Yeah, she's up there just 2 miles from the Canadian border. All righty. Larry, few. Skip me. Hey, Hunter's Dad, did I skip? Sometimes I miss stuff. Oh, thank you and good night. Well, thank you and good night to you, Hunter's Dad. Me too. Well, Preston, I think I saw you. You said you were from Jupiter, Florida, wasn't it? Let's see. Somewhere. Was it? Cape Canaveral. Yeah, Cape Canaveral. I said that. Didn't skip you. That is Florida. Sorry, Greg, about the name. Sorry about the name, Greg. You are by no means the only person who had a hard time with it. It is what it is. Truman's hometown in the Ozarks in Missouri. Hey, all right there, H. Lammers. My birthplace is Maine. All right, Patrick. All righty. Carolina. Chile, Carolina. You know, there used to be you go up and down the interstate going between North and South Carolina. There used to be a place in South Carolina, just south of the North Carolina border. They called itself south of the border. They specialized in Mexican food and other things. You'd see their signs for miles going in that direction. It was always funny. Such things as weather forecast, hot tamale, chilly today. Anyway. Yeah, I hope everybody is here back again. Bidford, Kennebunkport, Minnesota. But I love Chicago, and a Chicago woman is always nice. Oh, we got some flirting going on here. We got Steffords. All right, folks. All right, folks. Hey, thank you, super chatters. Wow, awesome. And you made me blush in your days. So thank you, super chatters. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you, mods, for all you do, posting links. I appreciate that. And just everybody for being here. And with that, I'm going to say, everybody, keep your eyes wide open, head on swivel. We're in crazy times today. Get ready. Be ready for the stuff we're in. Keep your gas tank full. Be situationally aware everywhere you go. Avoid large crowds if you all can. I got to talk more about that. I got to talk about this drone business. Anyway. Hey, Bill, yeah, we're calling tonight. Sasquatch Man, thank you for being here, too. Thank you, every one of you, for being here. And to one and all, a good night.